Derek took everything from me. 9 victims who were seduced by a con man they met on dating sites. 9 of the women who were seduced by a con man who lied about his identity and swindled his Smith love result of $2 million have broken their silence. Derek Alldred, 49, met more than 24 women online, faked his identity with a web of lies, then quietly stole their credit cards, their social security numbers, and with some, spent their entire retirement savings. Several of his victims are finally speaking out and revealing their heartbreak and terror upon realizing that their lover was really a con mastermind in the new documentary Seduced by Evil, set to air on Oxygen on Saturday. Derek took everything from me. $325,000, Linda Dyas, who reported Alldred to police, says in the documentary. The women revealed they all thought they had found their true love with Alldred. He was the perfect guy. I thought he was the one. Others day 4 dozen roses, several of his victims explained in the documentary. He even made big plans with his victims, like moving in together and making wedding plans. He specifically targeted intelligent and vulnerable women seeking a long-term partner so he could benefit from their money. His scam finally came to an end in spring 2016 after he met former flight attendant Missy Brandt. Alldred met her under the alias Richie Peterson off dating website Our Time. Comment lied that he completed 8 tours in Afghanistan and even donned a full uniform when he spent time with Brandt and her daughters. One day when he was in the shower, she went through his wallet and found a social security card with his real name and 2 credit cards belonging to another woman, Linda Dyas. Brandt investigated Alldred and immediately contacted Dyas. I was contacted on Facebook Messenger by another victim who sent me his real name and his prior arrest and an article on him with his mugshot, Dyas, a nuclear scientist based in Minnesota, said to Fox. It was just a huge shock. I mean, yes, I was questioning, but when you think somebody might have lied to you about some things, you don't think they lied about everything. It was literally about everything, she added. Alldred and Dyas were living together in her home at the time. He was still in my house at the time. I was upstairs in my bedroom when I opened this message, she said. She immediately went to go check on her gun, which she kept in the house, and found it missing. He had used it a time or 2 at the shooting range. I found out later that he had carried it with him at times. I had told him not to use it. I planned to change the safe lock, and I didn't, she said. There I was upstairs in my bedroom, scared out of my wits because I just saw this guy's mugshot, she added. Dyas added there were warning signs. His military career didn't really match up. But I didn't question it that much. He had told me he was a reservist. I didn't really know anything about that. I didn't ask the questions I probably should have. But I just never pushed the issue, she said. On another occasion he threw a violent and angry outburst that terrified Dyas. It was about 7 months into the relationship. He got angry about something. I don't even remember what it was. But the way he handled it was out of what I would think was the norm. He really went over the top. To be honest, it put the fear of God in me. And very soon after, "I was getting feelings that something wasn't right," Dyas said to Fox. Later that same day Alldred complained of a pain and said he needed to go to the emergency room. Dyas dropped him off then called the cops on her way home. By the time she called Brandt to tell her the news, Alldred was already in custody. Alldred stole all of Dyas' emergency credit cards, ordered new cards in her name and maxed them out on lavish dinners and trips to Hawaii with her and other women. He drained her retirement savings and used the money to purchase a boat, 2 motorcycles, and he even put her name on the house's lease. Dyas and Brandt then launched their own investigation and met other women who were also conned by Alldred. It turned out Alldred had used various aliases and pretended he had an impressive career alternating between a U.S. Navy pilot, professor, defense analyst, attorney, doctor and firefighter. In August Alldred was sentenced to 24 years in prison in Texas for his crimes. He pleaded guilty to mail fraud and aggravated identity fraud and was forced to pay $255,000 in restitution. Prosecutors determined he targeted at least 25 women in California, Hawaii, Minnesota and Nevada. This defendant left a trail of tears, emotional devastation, and financial ruin behind him, U.S. Attorney Joseph Brown said at his sentencing. Cindy Pardini of San Francisco rallied the victims up to bring Alldred to justice, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Texas, and 9 of them spoke at Alldred's sentencing.